All right, guys, end of day review Wednesday. Um, this one might be a little quicker than most. Today provided less opportunity than most, and we made less decisions today than most days for me. When especially if I'm scalping at all or doing whatever, which I was open to doing today and yesterday, I'm going to have, it's not weird for me to have 10 trades or so. Certainly didn't have that today. Today was severely limited in terms of opportunity sets. And I think I started the recording. Yes, I did. I tried to scalp long into the close. I'll show you that. Made a tiny, tiny, tiny bit right here. So again, going back to the DMI, going back to this morning's preparation, what was the plan? The plan was we'd love to get long from here. One of the first things that might set up is long. And well, let's give it a big generic thing. What did I call it? A binary line in the sand, bullish above, bearish below. Didn't care which side we were on. Happy to go either way, but bullish this market unless we got below that level because we were opening above it, right? So bullish until proven otherwise there. Can use the neutral levels to trade with whichever side of the bull bear line we're on, right? So we could have shorted below here, right? We could have shorted below here. We could get long from here. We could get short from here. We could get long from here, which we tried. And we could get long from here, which I also did. So those were the two trades I attempted today. Was really hoping we got down here. Couldn't do it. So that's the big picture. That's, as we tie the day together from start to finish, that was the plan, the master plan. What happened narrative-wise today? We certainly got the bullishness, and I would attribute it to, check it out, we're starting to break that quarterly level, that yearly VWAP, that monthly extreme. Monthly still rotational. Trust me, if gun to my head, you put me in front of a monthly chart, I'm getting short right here, right? Still, even above monthly prior value high on this time frame. That doesn't mean we can't be micro, as we call it, which is what I did some today. So anyways, that bullish yearly, that bullish quarterly, and the most importantly, the bullishness from structural CVA level, and from most importantly, from the breakout on the weekly. Unfortunately, the weekly didn't actually give us any trade locations today, did it? Didn't do it. Would have loved to have seen a pullback to right here early on. Would have loved to have even seen a pullback to that developing value as we traded. Not happening. Wick below the 1.5. Chop at the 1.5. Wick below the 1.5, right? 1.5 to the 2. Almost essentially the 0.2, well, the 1.25 to the 2 was what capped today's trading, right? So didn't get those high quality trade locations. Definitely got a more quality narrative on a time frame than we've seen all week, which was the condition shift on the weekly. Hooray, right? We got something to kind of lean on. So let's take a look at the trading that was done. We can do the full review. Again, there's just not much to review today. Process goal wise, look, it's, we didn't have any acceptance picture issues. The trades that I took were a series of longs in this region. And those were all full pullbacks above 41. So there's where things were above there. We're getting long, right? And then the last trade was a full pullback above 55, right there. Now, why do I have this little rinky-dink exit right there? Well, I gave it a chance. It was a test of 10K. Buyers came in for 1 bar at the turn where I got in, and then there were no buyers during that little sequence right there, which is where it went in my favor. So by the time, if I zoom into that, I'm in, order flow turns, we go, order flow is terrible. Order flow starting to kind of dip for the sellers, price turns, I'm out, right? So I'm in and I'm out. If I zoom into that sequence for you, right there. So very good trading today. Very good trading today. This, if I'm looking at a student's trading, first of all, I say, bless your heart, this was atrocious mess here. Good job not losing a bunch of money and getting chopped up. Good job staying with it until it no longer made sense to stay with it. Good job waiting for your pitch here. I might question whether or not there was a missed opportunity as we wrapped up our Q&A session here. I might question that, right? Where's the acceptance picture? Here we're calling it above that first level that we could trade. Okay, nothing to do here. Ignore this green level. The green level's now where weekly DVA is. It was not there during this time. I've adjusted it. But once we start to hold above it a couple of rotations here, it could be argued there was a trade. Now, we're rotational with regard to DVA, and we don't go imbalanced until here. So this was a potential continuation play if you wanted. And then this was a fast trend. The speed of the tape was high. Look at the way this is trading, both to the upside and the downside. This is fast stuff. Speed of the tape was high, just like we talked about in the Q&A. I went with a fast trend from the 1.5 right there, with the pullback to the next level from the DMI. Here was the first level. Draw, 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 draw. Here's the second level. So this is clinical trading. You cannot argue with the timing of the trades. One of the very best things that I did today was conservative scale outs. That is one of the things that really kept me in the game today. And what did I make on that last trade? 0.25 R or something like that. So that puts us around 0.45 minus 0.45 R for the day, minus 2.2 R for the week. I'm just kind of ballparking that a little bit. We're still in the game here, guys. And one of the things that I did a really good job of was standing aside, clear vulnerability to stop run. Got out here before the stop run, which never even came. So then we're back in. Wanted those new high scales, wanted the 1.5, right? That was the tempo I was seeing, but we settled into such a nasty grind. If we're going to up thrust this thing and start the turn, Delta's not making new highs, even though price made that new high. Sellers start to slam it. We turn, fine. I'm going to scale heavily there. Didn't want to do it, but that is my process is a better trader than I am. The market generated information I'm seeing is a better trader than I am. Because what did I want? I wanted this thing to zip to 55, right? I wanted this thing to give me that extra push. I wanted this order flow to slam through these prior little highs. I wanted it to go. I wanted to get the 1.5 at least. But I took that reluctant scale out, as I call it. And then I still refused to be stopped out at the lows. So instead of stopping out here, I stopped out there. And that is a massive savings. Massive. Again, keeping me in the fight. Fine, let the stop run go. Let it start to wick those lows and turn right off of delta neutral. And again, the beautiful decision making I'm being very nice to myself today after being very hard on myself yesterday, right? I didn't want to take this scale, did I? Go look at the recording. I didn't want to take that scale. Where did I want to scale? I wanted to scale the now compromised DVA location. I wanted to move up into here, which was not asking too much. Asking for the 1.5 was not asking for too much up there. It can't get there. It can't get there. We have a major problem, a lack of buying. And again, it's the same concept as it was here. Price heads up in my favor after getting long. Delta has like a blip where it starts to go, and then it's really problematic. There's nobody buying it. Price starts to turn, and I get out. I take those, I at least take a good scale. Took that good scale right there. And then I again stopped out before the low. A little bit of savings there on the stop out. So that is an absolute garbage sequence of price action. And I have to say it was fairly masterfully traded. I have to say that was some really nice work there. Almost squeezing a lemonade out of those lemons. And again, I had some students today who did better than me, right? They shorted from here. They saw the writing on the wall, contextual order flow shift, sellers taking control, nobody buying where I'm scaling out, boom, hit it, right? Wasn't a part of my plan today to do that. And I had a process goal that would have me avoid being short there. But good on you guys who had that flexibility and took that little opportunity. I saw some students who did take these longs that reset up here. Most of you were not doing it. You know, it was ETH VWAP. Okay, so oops, we've wicked VWAP. But I think even better, as some pointed out, it was RTH developing value low. Right when we finished up that Q&A call, we got the lower extreme of RTH. Seller's not too scary. The acceptance picture is still a nice hold above 41. That's a trade. If I had to give myself a critique, I was focused on the Q&A. I wasn't really stalking anything into that area. So I missed it. If I had to give myself a critique today, I would say you could have been back in the game there, especially if you focused on RTH, the delta, the acceptance picture was there, the CVA, you know, it's a weekly bullish environment. Could have done it. The DMI is there for that. So decent opportunity there. I like my aggressive scalp into the close. I do. You know, look at what we saw into the close yesterday. Again, this is end of the quarter week here. We can see some wild ramps and different things into the close. Interestingly today, what did we see? And again, look at what I did on that trade. I got in, there's no buyers, the momentum in price shifts, and I not only scale, but I bail. There was only 2 minutes left to the close there. I'm not sticking around. Really nice job of positioning myself. Let's see if we can, and I'll use the term I love to use, let's see if we can get lucky. I'm positioned well. The logic is there. The market generated information is there. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get lucky. Guess what hasn't happened this week? I haven't gotten lucky, right? But that's the beautiful thing about trading if you allow yourself to have that mentality. Let go of control. Just focus on doing your part. Your part is just to position yourself to see if you can essentially get lucky. Position yourself based on your process, learn all the NADRO stuff, develop the skill sets, figure out, you know, starting to get down pen and paper, a process for trading, and then do your job. Just do your job. Put on the appropriate amount of risk where your process says that it makes sense to put on risk. And then let everything else happen. See if you get lucky. See if you get unlucky. You'll participate in some clean price action and you can stay aggressive. You'll get caught in some garbage chop like we did, and you need to let off the gas, take some earlier scales than usual if you're allowing yourself to do that kind of thing. Trading is hard, but I really believe that it's only as difficult as you allow it to be the way you think about it. That's why the mental frameworks that I teach are something that I wholeheartedly believe in. We're always going to be human. You guys have seen me make a mistake or two this week. I'm going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. But on the whole, you can make trading easier, less stressful, so that you can do that all important thing of being able to remain objective, which is the whole point of any psychology. It's to remain objective. It's to be able to see more of the truth. It's to be able to see more of what's actually in front of you rather than what you're worried about it could be in front of you, or what was behind you, or some variable you shouldn't focus on, like I focused on the other day with order flow and that volume profile, rather than my core acceptance and hypos. So anyways, rant over, but it's just really, really important stuff. I feel like I traded really well today, crushed the process goal, excellent patience on waiting for setups that made sense. I feel like I balanced the right level of aggressiveness, and I took some scale outs that I didn't want to take, but that the market told me it's not that you ever know what's going to happen next, but the market told me from a probabilistic point of view, from a probabilistic place, this is all you're getting, buddy, right? Doesn't look good for you. Thank you. I'll take my little, my thimble of water as I'm starving out in the desert. That's what we're doing this week. We're starving. Anyways, that's really it. Those are all the decisions. That's the review in terms of the narrative work that we did today. Perhaps one missed opportunity, but I really wasn't focused on it, or focused on the charts at that time, leading that Q&A, going to lunch. That's really it. Like I said, I mean, quick meeting here, 20 minutes, but you don't, one additional thing, you simply don't have to sit down for 2 hours and review every day when there's just not as much to review. Some days when there's a crap ton that happened and you screwed up and you did a lot of stuff, you need to thoroughly go through everything and rework the narrative stuff, see what you missed, all those kind of things. Today is just one example of what was a more simple day, not a nice day, not a big profitable day, but a simple day, one of many of the grind day in the life of a trader. And so I'm happy in some sense that you guys get to see some of that this week. Despite my success trading, this kind of stuff happens all the time, right? We have days, weeks, market not cooperative, we make mistakes, things like that. I'll quit beating that dead horse, but would love to see some nice trades into the tail end of the week here, getting closer to the end of the quarter. So I understand there's going to be even more tomfoolery. One of the things we saw a lot today that I noticed, at least in order flow real quick, is it was all pretty much dropouts, right? This one, this one, this one, here, here, here. Sure, there was a couple times where we had some aggressive buying, namely into this sequence where I went long right here. But for the most part, the big blocks were just, I mean, these early ones that happened while we were in that area there, that first one I banged out, I thought like, hello, flash crash, here we go, some of these I wasn't even paying attention to when they happened or whatnot, but What's my takeaway from those? Nothing, right? So maybe I just wasted our time, but that's what I observed in the order flow. Final lesson for you here today is it's important that you actually do what I just did. It's important that you take the time each day, make it a line item in perhaps your review. And when I teach people how to do reviews, one of the things I talk about is interesting observations. What did you see that day that stood out to you? Was it some weird random seller blips in order flow? I don't have any way of using that information heading into tomorrow or the rest of the week, other than to know that that is something that's happening. I can be a little more aware, maybe a little more conservative with sizing, risk, stop placement, things like that. Or I can continue to ignore it and, until it really tells me that something is the matter or whatever. But that's not the point. The point is to make whatever observations are there to observe as a lifelong student of the market, always observing how did this trade today? What was the speed of things like during various parts? Were there any weird things with order flow I'd like to go back and study? All those kind of things should be a part of your journaling, which then you can put a placeholder down, a timestamp. You come back in the review and you can address some of those interesting observations from the day. And you do that for, 10 years, 15 years. And guess what? You start to get better at observing patterns, tendencies, anomalies, when things are not normal, when things are normal. You don't just take a course, the NADRO course included, and learn all that. That's experience. And if you're not intentional about getting the most experience you can out of each day, guess what? Your learning curve is longer, slower. The more you do the market replay, like someone asked about in the Q&A, the more reps you get, the more intentional you are about developing, you're shortening that learning curve. You're getting more reps. You're getting better quicker. So anyways, quick little half-hour review here. Doesn't have to be rocket science. Tough day, but I traded well. I genuinely believe that. So let's go get them tomorrow. Take care.